Hello guys, welcome back to the Android app development tutorial by Apptronics Technologies. So in this tutorial, we will learn to create a registration page using Sqlite database in Android. So let's start. First of all, we will create a new project. So go to File, New, Android Application Project. Take any name as if we are taking here Sqlite underscore registration. You can give project name anything, package name you can give anything. Here we are giving apptronics com.apptronics dot Sqlite underscore registration. Okay, minimum required SDK 8 is fine, so leave it. Do next and finish. Yeah, so first of all we will design the layout. So for designing the layout, we will go to the activity main.xml file. So here first of all we will convert this layout from relative to the linear so that we get some easier in the layout. So I'm deleting this, change it to linear layout vertical. Okay, so now here we are taking two text field, okay, and one button for saving it and one button for viewing the data that we have saved. Okay, so right now we will change the name of these things. So first of all we will give the hint as take it as name of the student, and the second one, suppose we are taking it as address. Okay, yeah, so let's take the name of the button as save, and the second one one second, save, and the second one as view. Let's make it to center, so here center, the second one is also center. Yeah, so this is our basic layout. Here what we will do, we will enter some data here and here, the student name and the address, then we will click on save button, so it will save that data in the Sqlite database. Okay, so now let's save the file with Ctrl S. One more thing that we can do, we will give a on click function to the button. So I'm taking the name as take it as click. Okay, save it. Okay, now we will move to the main activity.java file. Here we will do the layout activity code. Okay, so I'm removing this menu part. This thing I am not required as of now. Yeah, so now what we will do, first of all we'll create a class, or we can say we will create a Java file that will handle all our database operation like insert, delete, or everything. So we will create that Java file inside this package name where we have the activity file. So let's create a new class, new Java class, this one. Give the name as Sqlite and make finish. Yeah, so now we have created a Java class. Now here what we will do, first of all we will create first of all let's move to the Java main activity.java. Here first of all we will declare all the variables that we have taken here there. So first of all we are declaring edit text, take it as name comma address. Okay, second thing, we don't need to declare button because we'll take the on click method. So I'm giving the ID, I'm linking these variable to that edit text on the XML file with the unique ID. All the edit text is having a unique ID. Suppose this is the edit text, this is the ID is edit text 1, and the second one is having the ID edit text 2. So let's link the id edit text dot id dot edit text 1. Similarly we will do it for second one also. This one is 2 and this one is add. Okay, yeah. So now we will create a on-click method. For this, public void click view, take any object as v. Yeah. So now what is this method used for? See, we have taken an on-click method here with a name click here. You can see here. So what it will do, when we will click a button, it will take us to this method that we have declared in the Java file, and it will do the task that we will be giving here in this method. So here what we will declare, we will declare the task for saving our data. Okay, one more thing we have left here, take the on click method for the view also. So I'm taking on click as view. Okay, so make one more method here, take it as view. Okay, yeah. So now what we will do, we will, after clicking on this file, what we will do, we will send the name and the address that we are entering in the edit text to this Java file, and this Java file, what it will do, it will save this data to the database. Okay, so let's save it. So first of all, we are storing it in a string. So we are taking string name, we can say na equal to name dot get text dot to string, and this second one string, suppose I am taking ad equal to add dot get text dot to string. Now what it will do, it will take the value from name edit text and it will convert this edit text to a string and store it into the na. Similarly here it will take the text from add, convert it into the string and store it into the ad. Now we will send this. Suppose here what we do, we take a variable for the class that we have made right now. I'm taking Sqlite, the class for this one. Okay, so Sqlite, I'm taking it as SQL. Okay, now I'm giving the reference SQL equal to new Sqlite, and here we will give the activity name context as activity name, so main activity dot this. Yeah, now it is giving me the error. See, the constructor Sqlite main activity is undefined. That means we have to declare a constructor, or we have to create a constructor in this file for this main activity dot Java file. So let's create simply click on the mouse and create constructor. Yeah, so now here we have created a constructor for this activity file in our Sqlite. Now what we will do, we will SQL dot open. Now this open is not just a defined method. Here what this open is, we will create this open method inside this file, and this open method, what it will do, it will just open our database. That means it will allow us to insert any data inside the database. It will make our database as writable. Okay, so for till now, just create a method SQL dot save. In this method, through this method we will save the data, and now we are closing the database. So SQL dot close. So we'll create these three methods inside this Java file. So let's create it. Create method. Here also create method, and here also create method. Okay, so now we have created these three methods inside our Sqlite.java file. Okay, now save it. One second. getting this error. 1 second. Yeah, gone. Okay, now what we will do, for the time being we are leaving this file right now. We just open now we give a toast message. Suppose to say toast dot give context as main activity dot this text as saved successfully. Duration give it as short, toast dot length short, and dot show. It will show us a toast message when our data will be saved. Yeah, now let's move to this file. Now here what we will do, first of all, here some declare some variable. So for our database, for a Sqlite database, we require three things. The first of all, the name of the database that we want to make. Second one, the name of the column inside the database, because the Sqlite stores the data in the form of rows and columns. So we have to provide the name of the column and the name of the table. So three things we require. The first of all, name of the table that we require. The second one is the name of the database, and the third one is the version of the database. So let's declare the variable as string. So take string. I'm taking the database name as, suppose I am taking the variable as database equal to, and giving the name of the database as user. Suppose I am giving it as db. Okay. Again, next I'm giving the table, and I'm giving the table name as user, and the third one I am giving the version as integer, int version equal to 1. The version must be greater than equal to 0. Must be greater than equal to 1. Okay, so now what version will do, but it just checks the data through version, that is there any data, or is there in same database is there or not. When we insert any second data, when we recreate a table, it just check the previous version that it is required or it is available or not. Okay, so now let's declare the column name. So here we have basically two columns. The first column is the name, and the second column is the address. So just declare the column name. So string column name as, take it as name equal to, right here name, string add equal to address. Okay, and one more variable we are taking, string id, that will be unique for our column, for our table. So take it as id. Yeah. Okay, now what we will do, we will create a class with any name. Suppose I am creating a class with a name helper, and I am extending this helper, I am inheriting this helper with Sqlite open helper. What this Sqlite open helper, this class basically deals with all the database operation like insert, delete, update, select. These all things are dealt by this class. So we have just made a class with a name helper that will act as if it's working like a Sqlite open helper. So let's create some method constructor. Okay, after adding constructor, just implement some methods. Okay, like this. Now here we are just giving the context, so remove these all things as of now. Yeah, here in the name of the place, here I have to give the name of the database that you want to give. So the name of the database is what? Database. So give the name here as database, and give the factory as null, and here the version should be the same version that we have given here. Okay, now here in this onCreate method, what we will do, we will write the query for creating a table inside a Sqlite database. So let's write the query. So first of all, we are storing the query inside a string variable. So string query equal to create table space, then we have to give the table name. So our table name is what? Table. So to write here table, then plus, then you have to give the bracket, then inside the bracket the name of the first column. So what is the name of the first column? We have the ID, name and address. So give it as ID plus double quotes. Now what is ID? So we are taking here as integer and we are declaring it as primary key and auto increment. Okay, auto increment. Now, so here what we have done, we have declared the ID as integer. Primary key, that means it will be a unique suppose we have inserted a data and that will have the ID 1. So next time if we will insert the data, the ID will be 2. It will be automatically incremented. So whenever we will insert the data, the ID will be auto incremented and it will be inserted automatically. But suppose we have deleted the ID with the ID 1. Now next time if we will create a new database, it will not new data, it will not create that ID 1. The ID 1 row will be blocked because you have declared it as a primary key. This is the use of the primary key. Okay, so now the next one is what? Name. Take the name as text that will not be null. Okay, next one is, what is the next one? Address. So take the address same as text not null, and here in all these things you have to give the comma. Now here close the bracket, give the semicolon and give the semicolon outside. So this is the query for generating our data, creating our column. Okay, now what we will do, we will execute this query. So you have to execute from this object. So arg0 dot arg0 dot execute SQL, and here you have to write query. That's it. So this will create the table with the name table, that is the user, with having these columns. Okay, now we have created the database, we have created the table. Now what the task is left? Now just we have to save our file, save our data. So for saving our data, what we have done here, when we will click on this button, it will send this NA and AD. Suppose I am giving here NA and comma, and here I am giving AD. Okay, now change method. Okay, now see, here we have string NA and here we have string AD. So what it will do, it will send this data inside this NA, and this will send AD this data inside this AD. So when we will click on this button, these two data will be moved to this Java file and it will be stored here, NA and AD. So now from here we will take the data and we will store it into the database. Okay, so for this we require a content values that stores the data one by one inside the table. So take it in cv equal to new content values, then cv dot put. Now here is the key. The key will be the name of the column in which I want to insert the data. So name of the column is what? Name and address. So here we will write name and the value will be what? NA. So right here NA. Similarly CV dot put ADD and AD. Okay, now we have to store this data inside the table. So now let's put it inside the table. Before coming to this, let's complete this open and close one, then we will come in. Let's take a variable with the name of this class. So take helper h, okay, and take a variable with a context c. Context is just, it will declare the data, it will identify, it will indicate the database that from which activity we received the request for saving the data. This is the use of this context. Okay, so here in the open method, what it will do, it will open us the database for saving our file. So here what we will do, we will first of all we will call h equal to new helper, right here context, that means c, and here c inside this create constructor, you write here c equal to main activity, sorry. So it will take the value from this one. If suppose I'm sending the data from this activity, so it will come to this constructor and it will be the value of this constructor will store in the C. So when we will be using this one open method in this activity, it will declare that we have received this data from the main activity.java file. Now take one more variable of the Sqlite database. Sqlite database stores all your queries of the Sqlite. Okay, now what we will do, we have declared a variable h now, and we have declared a variable Sqlite as database. So here what we will take, we will give s equal to h dot get writable database. Now this s has taken the permission from h to write the database any kind of data. Okay, so now our open is done. Now inside this close, you simply write s dot close. Now we'll save the data. So here we write s dot insert. The first one is the name of the table in which we want to insert. The name of the table is what? Table. So right here table. Make the null column hack as null. Suppose I am giving any column here, and suppose this column doesn't exist in the database. So for that we use a null column hack. Okay, and the values will be what? This one, CV, right here. That's it. So right like this we save our data inside the database. Okay, so now let's run this application and check. Okay, See, right now we haven't done the code of the view, so we can't view it here, but we can go to the backend and we can see the data. So for this you can click on here and go to the DDMS. Now here our emulator, this is online, so click on this emulator and here we have the file explorer. So the it stores the data inside this path. See here, first of all go to the data folder. Inside the data folder there is again a data folder. Inside this data we have the packages that we have given. So the name of the package that we have given is com.aptronics.sqlite registration, this one. Okay, so open this one. See, we have the folder with the name database, and inside this folder we have the file with db that we have provided there. So we can simply export this file, save it to desktop, save it. Yeah, now let's check it. Let's open this file with the name with a notepad. Can't see, actually this is very encrypted, so one second, let's find it. Control F, Aptronics. Yeah, see, Aptronics and Patna, these two data that we have inserted right now. That means our data is being inserted. Okay, so now let's check our data here only inside the view. So for view, what we will do, we will check this data inside the dialog box. That when we click on the view button, it will fetch the data from that database and it will display inside the dialog box. So let's do it. Yeah, for this what we will do, we will create a method for viewing the file. The public, take it as string method. Okay, take return type by string, public string get this one. Okay, so give return as null as of now, we'll change it later on. Yeah, so we will call this method string get method here to fetch our data. Okay, so here what we will do, first of all let's declare a variable string txt equal to blank. Okay, and in place of null write txt. Now what we will do, first of all we will declare a array, take as call, and inside this array we will declare the name of the column that we want to display. So we have three columns: id, name and address. Suppose I want to display all these three columns, so I will take the name of all these three columns here. Okay, yeah. Now we will call the cursor which fetch the data one by one from the database. So let's call the cursor c equal to, now let's write the query for the querying or fetching our data. So cursor c equal to s dot query. Okay, so instead here what we will do, one second, take this one. In here we have to write the table name, so write here table, column call, and the other thing as of now put it as null. So what it will do now, it will fetch all the data from these columns of this table. So all the data is being fetched to this cursor c. Now we will take our cursor one by one to each row and we'll fetch each and every data. So now what we will do, I'll take a for loop for, yeah, here here I have to write the c dot move to first. So here also write c dot move to first. So I'm moving my cursor to the first first data of the database, that is the first location. So here to move to first, then here not of c dot is after last, and here c dot move to next. I think you all are understood this thing what we have done here. Actually move to first, that means we will initiate the loop from the first position. Not of c is after last, that means the loop will execute till the last data of the database, that means on the last row. And move to next, it is what the loop will be incremented one by one. Yeah, so now what we will do, we will store the thing inside that txt. So txt equal to c dot get string 0. Now what it will do, c dot get string 0. 0 is the index value of this id. That means it, suppose the loop is at the first position, so at the first position it will take the id of that first position of the first row, id of that first row, and it will store into the txt. So similarly, suppose I am giving a space between them, then we write plus c dot get string get string 1. Now it will take the value of the name of the first row. Then I am again giving the space and plus c dot get string 2. So it will take the string of the address. Now what we are doing, we are giving a line break between the data, so that after each and every row there is a line break. Now here what we will do, here we will txt plus. Now what it will do, it will also sort the previous data when the loop will be executed one by one. So we will get all the data of the database inside our database. Suppose we have 3 rows, so we will get all the 3 rows, and that will be stored inside the text, and we are returning this text here from this variable. So when we will call this method, it will return this txt value. That means it will return all the data from the database to this activity file. Okay, now let's come back to this activity file. Here we have to store that so that value here. So take a string here txt and call that method here to s dot sql dot get. And here what we will do, one more thing, do one more thing here. Here we have to make it is as get readable database, because we are reading the data here. Okay, so now txt this thing we have done for just for reading the data. Yeah, here now what we will do, now when here what it will do, it will take the data from this txt value, that means the whole data, and will store to this txt value. Now we will use this txt value as you like. So we are storing it in a text view. So let's do it. Text view I am saying, we will show it in the dialog. So let's call a dialog d equal to new dialog main activity dot this then d dot set title. Suppose I am giving the title as my data, then I am calling the text view in which we will display the data. Text view tv equal to new text view main activity dot this tv dot set text tv dot set text. What I will do, what I will print on the text view, txt. Now we will display this text view inside the dialog. So d dot set content view and right here tv, then d dot show for showing the dialog. That's it. Now run the program. It's quite slow. Yeah, okay, so this is the id, this is the name, and this is the address. Suppose I am inserting one more data, Rajesh Delhi. Save it and view it. Yeah, okay, so this is how we use Sqlite database to register, to make a registration page, or we can say to insert our data inside the Sqlite. So in our next tutorial we will learn about updating and deleting this data. So thank you for watching, hope you like it. So if you like this tutorial, please comment and subscribe to our tutorial. Thank you so much for watching this video.